This is Jumbo. Jumbo is a 1942 G506 1.5 ton cargo truck with winch. The more specific model designation would be G506 Serial number is 6NM222748. Date of manufacture October 1942. Assembly plant, Oakland, California. I've owned this truck for about 6 years. It came out of Grand Junction, Colorado. Previous owner, actually the previous 2 owners. If you'll notice on the door, there's a name here, Ken Fredrickson. Mr. Fredrickson is the fellow that bought it from the Army after World War II. He used it as a work truck in all kinds of different capacities. I have pictures of most of that I'll insert in this video at some point, or have accompanying photographs. I believe it spent most of its life in Arizona. I think it was in the high desert areas out there. It's currently located in northern Alabama. I've kept it stored inside since I've had it for the last 6 years, in my garage most of that time, and in a 40-foot high cube shipping container for about the last 3 months. As you can see, it's in pretty good survivor condition. These are the original blue drab hood registration numbers, and that yellow paint, interestingly, is also visible in some photographs that I have, which I believe are from the late 40s, possibly early 50s. So I assume that's where the Army painted over the hood numbers when they sold it. I've been told that the side shields should not have the embossed Chevrolet on them. However, if you'll notice, the yellow paint that was originally applied over the blue drab hood numbers has run down onto it, so it was at least on here when it was surplused. What do we got? It's got a correct mirror arm with the correct door hinge bracket. It had other windows, or excuse me, mirrors on it when I got it. You can see some of the mounting points from there. That's since been removed. There's a name visible under the window here, and it's been difficult to make out. Best I can figure, it says "Hug Me, Hun." And the only thing I've ever seen with that name was a greyhound race dog. So maybe that was a joke on the speed or something. No idea. The truck is very solid. It has no serious rust issues. You can see a little bit coming through in the corner of the door there. To me, this truck is a survivor, and it should be preserved as such. The bed is correct, but not original to the truck. The original bed was apparently removed when it was used as a work truck over its life. But the bed is in excellent condition as well. Reproduction mud flaps on both sides. However, I have a set of originals right here. You can see need to be straightened up, but my intention has always been to put those on there instead of the repros. Mini Jeep in the back's not part of the deal here. I've just been storing it in there. The chains on the bed are original, correct, in excellent condition. Toolbox is solid. You can open it, and the floor is in really good condition. I've got the engine hand crank in there, and the lug nut removal tools. Bumperettes, correct, good to go. It's got a proper pintle hook. The wheels are all correct. I think some of these wheels are original to the truck. When I got it, it had M35, the larger wheels, tires. and a bunch of these correct wheels with really bad tires on them. Some of these wheels date codes are appropriate for the date of manufacturer of the truck. The tires I put on there, bought those. Those came off of another G506 that I bought for parts that a buddy of mine has now restored and gotten in really nice shape. But the bed furniture was not on the truck when I got it. I was able to find original and correct stakes and the legs and everything there for the benches, and had my cabinet guy make the slats for me out of red oak. I just painted them green. But all of the stakes are original and correct to my knowledge. In fact, I reused the original hardware where I had it, where I could. Unpainted, trying to kind of keep that originality thing going. You can see that I didn't have enough. I haven't painted those yet, but got as close as I could with the hardware that I had to replace from the McMaster car. Available stuff. That's an NOS strap across the back there from Midwest. Okay. You can see Ken Frederickson's name slightly coming through right there on this side as well. So I pulled the truck out of the shipping container yesterday, and you may notice there's some spots on it. That's sap. It sat under a tree overnight down at the barn, and which it rarely does, but yeah, the tree dropped some sap on it, which has happened before it shows. It comes off. The winch, I've never operated the winch. As far as I know, it's good to go. You can see that this lever, the fork is broken here. I actually have an NOS, I don't know what you call that, probably a clutch engagement lever, but I've got an NOS lever to replace that with. Just haven't done it. This bumper number is original to the truck, to the bumper anyway, which I assume is also original to the truck. I was able to faintly make those markings out, and then I pencil traced them with you know, a ruler and taped it off and sprayed it with a spray can. Tried to kind of rough it up a little bit, dirty it up to make it look not so lily white and fresh. On this side, you can make out some kind of, you know, the truck or unit numbers or whatever, but I think it's an A-14 or maybe 12. Never could really decide, so I just haven't traced and redone that. The winch chain and cable is all there. It's in really nice shape. On the hood up here, this 4615 number that's written up there, I assume that's probably from the original sale, but I don't really know. Probably a lot number, something like that. It didn't have any windshield wipers on it when I got it. These are a couple that I picked up at a show a few years back. I don't know if there was the correct orientation for the truck or not, because frankly the information on that kind of stuff is hard to come by. But I put them on there to look, you know, they maybe they're both supposed to be facing the same way or both in. I really don't know, but it is what it is. All the lights work on this truck. Some of it with the original wiring. So it had a little bit of extra metal on the front up here, and you can see it still does. In fact, this has been boxed in. Mr. Frederickson actually had a lift on the front of this thing that he used in his business. I think he put up signs, but you can see he strengthened that. I've removed some of the extra material, but most of it's still on there. I actually opened up it on this side with my intent to remove all the extra material, but I just haven't gotten around to it. Okay, the front knuckles up here and the hubs, I've completely rebuilt both front hubs. Completely disassembled it. New Timken bearings, new seals. Some of it was NOS stuff from the 50s, I think, but completely rebuilt both sides. So the front bearings are in excellent condition. New brakes on both sides, cylinders and lines and shoes. I've also, on the rear, I've rebuilt the passenger side. As you can see, this side still leaks, so I've not gotten around to rebuilding this hub on the driver's side rear, but the passenger side rear has got all new bearings, seals, brake cylinder, brake shoes, brake line, I think. 6-volt battery. Since I've owned it, I also redid the fuel tank. I had the fuel tank, I removed it, took it to a local radiator shop. They completely boiled it out and cleaned it up. It's got no rust issues. This tank actually came out of a different truck. The one that was in it was not in all that good a shape, but it's a correct original G506 tank. You can see here, this is an original correct fuel filler, as far as I know. This piece of angle I don't think is necessarily original. Not really sure what it should look like, but it's functional. Custom door lock. This is the registration number on the passenger side. Also got the Chevrolet embossed side panel. Now the radiator, let's open the engine compartment. So it does not have the original engine in it. It's got a later model Stove-Bolt 6 with a full pressure oil system. Whoops, looks like I've lost my oil filler cap. Radiator cap is in the truck. So the radiator, it's got, it's like a custom built radiator almost, I guess. It's the top tank has been replaced. The radiator leaks a little bit, so when I crank it and run it, I have to top off the radiator. I've done virtually nothing to the engine but change the oil filters and oil. Let's see in here. Lots of the bits and pieces are untouched. Still running a generator. All right. Kind of cool. Original welting. You see that finish under there? Okay. Let's look inside. Oh, there's the radiator cap. So I don't think you can tell in this light. You can't hear. So it looks like at least the interior has been painted this brown color at one time. So I don't really know what the deal is with that, but you know, the dash is amazing. The gauges are all original and in functioning, really nice condition. All the gauges work. I replaced all the data plates in it, but I have the originals in the glove box. I just couldn't read them. I left the original serial number plate on here. Does not have a headliner in it presently. The old turn signal is still there, that aftermarket turn signal. It's not hooked up to anything, it doesn't work, but I just left it on there. It's also got an old heater under there, which actually comes in handy in the wintertime. Okay, this tool rack has been here for a long time on this side of the truck. You know, you see them in different places, but that's just where this one's located. I've also got a, let's see, you see there's a couple of holes here. I've got a tag that goes right there that I think is an original tag, but it's with the other stuff. It's either in the glove box or in my file, but I've got a bed tag that goes there. As far as bed mounting to the frame, I don't think it's sitting at the proper height. So I think something needs to be done to make that a little more correct. I know that it's missing the U-bolts and or long bolts with springs set up. It's got something with angle iron under there. So that's something that would need to be tweaked to make it more correct. And when you get it out, riding it around, the bed doesn't flex quite like it should without the spring loaded, or the bolts or springs on them. Let's look inside the bed. I've got stuff in here, so it's kind of hard to tell, but the bed floor is solid as a rock. Oh yeah, these are the uprights and the knees for the top. I do not have a canvas top for it, but these are original uprights. You can see the knees back there. So, and I've got some bows in the garage. There we go. You can kind of see what's going on in the bed. Now that crate has actually got a proper original G506 dipper motor in it. It's disassembled. It's rebuildable. So that's part of the truck too. Mud flaps. All right, that's all I can think of at this time. Spare tire carrier. Thought of that. I've got an original spare tire carrier. It's in the garage. I'll add photos or video of that, but it's not mounted presently. Lots of other spare parts and replacement parts. You can see this exhaust system's not correct. I do have a Vehicles of Victory exhaust system, including muffler, on the shelf. I'll go through that separately.